Hi, my name is Benjamin and I'm the lead programmer at Gravity Games for Gravity Core. And this is our first little flying chat, and I will try to help those of you who are stuck in the first couple of levels of Gravity Core and tell you a little about the strategies you can use to make it easier for your brain to understand what the ship's going to do if you press a certain button, and to avoid all kinds of confusion we see on YouTube right now. So the game launched on 1st of July, and we have a couple of thousand of players already, and that's really great. But we also see that about, 900 or so are stuck somewhere between level 4 and 5. And, well, we think that is because they make their lives a lot harder than they need to be, and they make ship controls a lot harder than they need to be. So I will try to help out here a little. First of all, please note that we have difficulty settings introduced during the beta test. That is normal, that was our original idea for the game, but we also have easy and sissy, and they make controlling the ships a lot easier. They also reduce your minimum speed, so you can basically slow down almost to a halt on sissy. And obviously there's hard for those of you who really need a challenge. I like it a lot. Let's go to the tutorial for a second. The basic idea of my strategy is to have your ships in neutral position whenever you can. And actually I have 3 different neutral positions. You have to understand that there are 2 different ships. We have on the right side here, that's the player controlled ship. It has 3 main thrusters, and that's the ship you control basically. And then on the left we have the AI controlled ship, and that is Eve, and Eve has 4 main thrusters. If from that neutral position I press right mouse button or right trigger on the gamepad, my ships will rotate counterclockwise. And that is something my brain can learn. Right mouse button, counterclockwise movement. If, however, somewhere during a level or in a level I have my ships positioned like this, if I now press right mouse button, I will have movement that is clockwise. And our findings are that your brain really just understands that right mouse button is a certain movement. So if 90% of the time your ships are positioned like this, and you move, you press right mouse button and then the ships move counterclockwise, that's what your brain expects. So if then suddenly your ships are positioned like this, then you just get messed up, and that makes things a whole lot more complicated. Okay, so this is my first neutral position, and I try to get back to that as often as I can. This is my second neutral position. For me, that's player controlled ship up and Eve down, because then I know that if I press right mouse button, then the upper ship will move forward and lower ship will move towards the screen. And then this is my third neutral position. It's player controlled ship front, Eve controlled ship back. So if you stick to these rules and you just have them in neutral position as often as you can, then your brain can actually learn what happens if a certain button is pressed. And that makes life a lot easier, especially if you play like an hour or 2, use the same neutral positions, and then you will instantly know what you have to do in a certain situation and a certain scenario if it gets more complicated later on in the game. So, second thing you should keep in mind, besides those neutral positions, is never ever move the ships around more than one axis at the same time. Never do things like this. Here, no, I'll move them. And how do you want to get them back to neutral or 0? I mean, that's really hard to do. That just takes time, and whoa, and even I am now a little confused. Even though I have played, hours and hours. Okay, no, that looks better, and we are back in control. But during a normal level, you just don't have time to then get back to neutral. So I suggest that you stick to one axis at a time, and then you make sure that your ships are back to 0 before you rotate around the next axis. So this, neutral, 0, 0, 0, and then next axis. And then I have a lot of control when it comes to my ships. This, back to neutral, whoa. And then rotate around that axis here. Okay, so 2 rules so far. First, go back to neutral whenever you can. Second, never ever rotate around more than one axis at the same time. Then there is speed control. That's the or Q button on the keyboard, and it's, I guess, A and B. Yes, A and B on the controllers or the Xbox controllers. I mean, these are essential, and many people die in level 4 at high speed or maximum speed. I understand that you guys want to be in the high score list, but, you know, level 35 is a lot of fun. So why don't you reduce your speed, go into that level once and complete it, and then restart the level and try to speed up and be faster and then get into your high score list. The Q button really makes your life easier, and there are tons of puzzles where you actually have to slow down to complete them. I'll show you some in a second or so. Okay. Then also what you might want to consider is make small movements and small adjustments. So don't just keep the button pressed as long as you can, because if you release the button, the ships will keep moving, because this is space. They will slow down at a small rate depending on your difficulty setting, but a basic idea is to just make small movements and be as slow as you can when it comes to rotation. Let's go onto level 10 and illustrate some of my ideas here, how they can help you and make your life easier. So that's level 10. During the dialogues, you can just not press any button, or you can press buttons, but you don't have to, because usually you have enough time to read the dialogue, and then you will face obstacles where you actually have to move the ships around. So see, dialogue's gone. Now I have to move the ships. I can just, if I want to finish the level, I can just, you know, slow down and then just make small adjustments to my ships, and that is not even hard to do here. Okay, I can speed up a little so that you don't get bored to death. Oh yeah, that's a good point here. Note that the first thing I have to do is go back to my neutral position. Player control ship is on the right, and now I rotate and stop. And that's really easy. And then I go back to a neutral position. And then, once I'm there, I start to rotate the ships around a different axis. Not before, and that was not even done well. Okay. This one. Okay, neutral position should actually be this here. Also for the spirals, to get into them, you should really, you know, slow down a bit, and then once you're in the spiral, you can just, you know, speed up your rotation. Okay. Again, good example. We have to go to neutral position first. Don't rotate around more than one axis at the same time. Once I'm in neutral, I can rotate around the next axis. Real easy, and then I can speed up. Actually, here I can already go to this neutral position here, where I have player ship front. And then I can rotate towards the next puzzle. Also see how the headlights are really come in handy here to know where you're facing or where your ships are facing, and also to understand the distance towards the next obstacle. So easy. Here we can speed up and just release all buttons if we want to, and then slow down again, back to neutral. And that is essential here for that one, and then rotate around that axis here. Whoa. Speed up a little and rotate around that axis here, and speed up. And then that was level 10. Okay, then here we are level 20, and level 11 to 20, they are all about simpler rocket mechanics. So you don't have a laser targeting system yet. You really rely on your headlights to know what you're aiming at. And even though I would like to pretend that this is my first try, it's not. It's number 6, and today I'm really bad. Must have played this level 100 times at least, but still I fail and fail and fail. But you know, might work out this time. So far, just 2 buttons and then the rockets. Okay, this is a good example of how speed is important. So you want to have about the same speed as these rotating planes. You cannot, however, be faster or a lot faster than they are, because then you cannot complete this part of the level. Also here, it's all about speed control. And then first neutral, then rotate around one axis, and then start and rotate around this axis here. Never rotate around more than one axis at one time. And then first this axis, then about 0, and then this axis here. Uh-oh, I'm going to die. I'm going to. No, I'm not. Oh, that should work. Okay, and then speed control. First this axis here. Then this axis. See? And once you start rotating around more than one axis at one time, you're going to die. That's something I have observed again and again. Okay. Again, back to neutral. 1, then around this axis, and then around this axis. See, there's a little movement in this other axis, which doesn't help at all. Okay, that should work. Cool, and then that's level 20 finally. Okay, then that's our quick look. It's not quick, actually, is it? Okay, that is our look at some basic strategies to complete levels. At least, 1 to 20. And in 21 it gets a little different, because you have laser shocking system, and it's more about shooting certain elements than it is about basic control. So make sure that, you are familiar with the basic controls, at least up to level 20, and then when it comes to level 21, we can talk again about how to master these shooting elements of the game. I hope this was helpful to you all, and really hope that all of you can now complete at least level 1 to 10, and then there's our casual 2-button level pack coming in, where you just have to press 2 buttons, and this is supposed to help those who are stuck somewhere between 1 and 10 to, get a little more playtime and get a little more familiar with the basic concepts of the game. So, see you all online, or in the forums, or wherever, and don't forget to leave a review if you like the game. Then if you don't like the game, why don't you leave a hate message in the forums, which is done better for me personally. And I hope you enjoy Brain Twisting as much as we do here. Take care.